Where in the world is Juan Carlos? Hi there, welcome to Plain English lesson number 289. I'm Jeff, JR is the producer, and this full lesson can be found at plainenglish.com/289. Coming up today, Juan Carlos, the former king of Spain, has fled the country. Only a few people know where he is, and they're not talking. The expression we'll talk about is come to light, and JR has a song of the week. The ex-king Juan Carlos shocked Spain by saying he was fleeing the country, but he did not say where he was going. The former monarch has been plagued with scandal for years, but he always seemed to escape direct responsibility for any wrongdoing. Under Spanish law, a sitting king is immune from prosecution. The civilian government has, in the past, not shown much appetite for leading investigations of the monarchy. Business leaders and the media have, by tradition, treated the Spanish royal family with kid gloves. These traditions and the law protecting a king from prosecution were designed to promote stability, but now many Spaniards are wondering whether such protection allowed Juan Carlos to use his position for personal benefit with impunity. Juan Carlos abdicated the throne, meaning he resigned as king in 2014. Though he was popular for much of his reign, his support collapsed after a series of scandals. His daughter's husband was under investigation for corruption, and he was perceived as out of touch with Spaniards who were suffering through a deep recession. In one particularly bad example, Juan Carlos said he was so worried about Spain's economy that he was losing sleep. Just weeks later, he was discovered on a lavish elephant hunting trip with a German mistress in Botswana. In 2012, one of the worst years of Spain's recession, he gave 65 million euros to this mistress and then asked for the money back. She refused. Since his abdication, Juan Carlos's son, Felipe VI, is king and has been generally well respected and has lived a much more modest lifestyle than his father. Still, the former king continues to cause problems for Spain's monarchy. Now that he is no longer king, Juan Carlos does not enjoy immunity from prosecution. That is a problem for him. In June, Spain's Supreme Court opened an investigation into allegations that the former king received illegal commissions from a high-speed rail construction project in Saudi Arabia. According to media reports, as king, he received 100 million euros from Saudi Arabia in illegal commissions in 2008, which he deposited in a Swiss bank account. Many in Spain are now reassessing Juan Carlos's reign. They are focusing on his lavish lifestyle, that included Ferraris, a yacht, luxury vacations, and a London apartment, all while receiving a stipend from the government to cover living expenses. The source of all his private wealth has been subject to speculation. His critics say he was too close to Arab world dictators. His London apartment, worth 62 million euros, was a gift from the Sultan of Oman, a gift many believe that was not given out of pure friendship. He has been accused of accepting bribes and kickbacks from Kuwait and Bahrain, in addition to Saudi Arabia. After the killing of activist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018, Juan Carlos was photographed shaking hands with the Saudi crown prince, who is widely assumed to have had a role in the killing. Spain's public opinion is divided on this issue. Some people think the former king should return and face a trial for what he did, while others want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Many of the allegations against him are as yet unproven. They have not yet been proven, in part because the former monarch has never been subject to a thorough investigation. In a bid to distance himself and the monarchy from the scandal, Spain's current king, Felipe VI, has renounced any inheritance he might have received from his father, and he said that Juan Carlos would no longer receive a public stipend. But the royal house refused to say where Juan Carlos is. Spain's government, including its Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, is not saying whether it had any role in the former king's disappearance. People speculated the king had fled to the Dominican Republic or to Portugal, but nobody has seen him. The left-wing Podemos party is using the occasion to argue for the abolition of the monarchy, but most other parties, including the ruling socialists, still support Felipe VI and the monarchy in general. Before the scandals started coming to light in 2012, Juan Carlos enjoyed strong public approval. One poll released just before the elephant hunting trip estimated his public approval at 80%. He acceded to the throne just days after the downfall of Spain's military dictator Francisco Franco in 1974. Juan Carlos is credited with facilitating Spain's return to democracy and with presiding over a dramatic period of modernization and rising living standards. I do not envy Felipe VI right now. By all accounts, he seems to be taking his responsibility seriously and has distanced himself from his father's wrongdoing or alleged wrongdoing. But in addition to the public crisis, remember, it's also a family drama for Felipe VI. In researching this lesson, I saw that the number of monarchies in Europe declined from 22 to 12 in the last 100 years. At first, that seems like a lot, but that covered 100 years. I wonder if any of the remaining 12 will be around after a few more generations. Today's expression is to come to light. What does it mean in English for something to come to light? It means something becomes known, something that was secret, something that was hidden before has become known. This is often, but not always, used in the context of some type of wrongdoing. New evidence has come to light is a popular expression. It means new evidence has recently been discovered. It had been hidden before, it had been unknown before, but now it is known. Now it has been discovered. Here's a recent headline. More and more explosive details about Wirecard come to light. Wirecard was a financial technology firm in Germany. A huge hole in its finances came to light after an auditor's report this spring. The company said they had $2 billion in bank accounts, but in fact they did not. This discrepancy came to light via the auditor's report. It had been hidden before. The managers of the business were saying they had a lot of money that they did not have. Their deception came to light after a report could not verify the existence of that money. After the explosion in Beirut, several letters from the customs director at the port came to light. The letters expressed worry and concern about so much ammonium nitrate being stored in a warehouse. The letters had not been public before the explosion, but they came to light afterward. They became known, and it was embarrassing that the government had advance warning and failed to act on it. Have you ever seen Ellen DeGeneres on TV? She's a popular talk show host and actress. In public, she has a friendly, likable, approachable public image. Her motto is "Be kind." But several accusations of mistreatment and abuse came to light. One after another, people who worked for her, security guards, assistants on her TV set, and other employees, they said they faced abuse, fear, intimidation, and discrimination working on her show. These allegations came to light in a series of detailed articles in BuzzFeed. They became known in those BuzzFeed articles. Now, it doesn't have to be wrongdoing. It can just be clues to a mystery. At the beginning of the COVID pandemic, the typical symptoms were well known. But after several months, additional symptoms came to light. Some people experienced body aches. Others discovered their sense of smell or taste was affected. These additional symptoms came to light after several months of the pandemic. Mistakes can come to light. It's common for large data sets to have mistakes in them and for those mistakes to be found later. That was true in some cases of coronavirus reporting. Mistakes in the database came to light after further analysis. Let's say you manage a business and your company produces something. It might be a product or a service. There are many steps in the process. You might decide to investigate to see if there are any inefficiencies in the way things are done. As a result of your inquiry, several inefficiencies may come to light, whereas before, nobody really knew about the inefficiencies. Now you know, and you can correct them. Time for JR's Song of the Week. It is My All by Mariah Carey. One of the lines is, I'd give my all to have just one more night with you. That means I'd give everything I could. I'd give my all means all my effort. Today's song was nominated by Birgul from Turkey, a Plain English Plus member. Thanks, Birgul, and thanks, JR, for making the selection. Remember, members of all levels, free, starter, and plus, can find the Song of the Week right from your member dashboard. That's all for today's lesson. Congratulations once more on making it to the end. Remember, the fun doesn't have to stop now. You can browse our full library of almost 300 lessons, each one including a phrasal verb or expression, on our website, plainenglish.com. If you're a member, just find that drop-down that says Libraries at the top and start exploring. If you're not yet a member, what are you waiting for? There's a free level that lets you explore our full, rich history of lessons. Check it all out at plainenglish.com.